When you set out to believe something, perception becomes reality. If you set out with a positive attitude of this is going to be amazing, that becomes your reality and that becomes your energy. And I also love talking other people up. When I'm talking them up and when I'm making them feel special, it has the reverse effect of what you would think. You'd think, oh, it's going to make me feel small, but it actually has the opposite effect of now I feel like this person sees me for who I am and recognizes me and likes me.
Whether you're looking for inspiration, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, you're in the right place. This is Wisdom Stripes. Welcome to the Wisdom Stripes podcast, where we explore the profound journeys of individuals who've emerged from life's challenges with hard-earned wisdom and resilience. I'm your host, Meg Tuohey, and I'm thrilled to share that this podcast is brought to you by the transformative program, the Wisdom Lab. If you're feeling stuck in painful patterns, desperately seeking a breakthrough, and yearning for the tools to shatter emotional barriers and reclaim your power, the Wisdom Lab is your answer. In just 4 hours, you'll discover how to tap into your inner wisdom, turn confusion into clarity, and unlock the profound personal growth you've been craving. No more band-aid solutions or surface-level advice. This is about deep, lasting transformation from the inside out. Ready to embark on this life-changing journey? Head to the show notes for an exclusive link to learn more. Let's unleash your wisdom together. Hello and welcome to Wisdom Stripes. My name is Meg Tuohey, and in today's episode, we are going to explore the world of entertainment, media, and the stories that shape us. Our guest today is Athenna Crosby, not only an actress, model, TV host, and entertainment correspondent based in Los Angeles, but also Miss World America. She is well known for her accomplishments in pageantry, as well as her work in media and television. Athenna has built a career centered around storytelling, connecting with audiences and amplifying voices in the entertainment industry. But beyond the glitz and glamour, there's always a deeper story, a journey of resilience, growth, and wisdom gained along the way. To share her insights on navigating Hollywood, the lessons she's learned, and the wisdom she's gathered, I am excited to welcome Athenna Crosby to today's episode. This is Wisdom Stripes, your no-nonsense, fierce fairy godmothers, turning pain and confusion into clarity and confidence. Athenna, we always start with the same question for our guests. What wisdom would you like to share today?
First of all, thank you so much, Meg, for having me on Wisdom Stripes. This is such an honor. And if there's anything that I've learned in my career, not just in the entertainment industry, but also in doing pageants, is that it's never rejection, it's always redirection. And in my line of work, you will hear no after no after no after no. And it can be difficult to see your value and see your worth while still pushing forward for this dream that you've always had. But I've become so comfortable with hearing the word no because I recognize that it's actually a blessing in taking me closer to the direction that I'm supposed to be going in, rather than detouring me into something that's not important. So I could go on and on about all of the experiences that have led me to this epiphany, but if I had to sum it up, I would say it's never a no. It's just a not yet. And I carry that wisdom with me forward now in my career.
Okay, I love it. And I too would like to unpack that a little. But before we do, maybe you could share with us the story of how you've gotten started or how you've ended up where you are today from an entertainment industry perspective. What drew you to this world? What was the experience like? And what is life like now?
I was introduced to the entertainment industry very early on, and I think most of that introduction came from pageants. So my mom is from Venezuela, and she grew up doing pageants. And as a little kid, I watched them on TV, like Miss World and Miss Universe. And I always aspired to become like the women that I saw on the screen. So at the age of 7, I entered my first pageant. And you can say that I had no idea what I was doing. I was just a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed little girl, but I recognized that I was meant to be on the stage, that I loved performing and that I loved being in front of an audience. And that naturally led to entering the entertainment world as an actor as well and as a model. So I started acting and modeling when I was about 12, 13 years old, signed with a talent agency, and really started exploring that part of myself as well. Since then, my career has diverted into many different directions. I live in Los Angeles now, and I actually utilize my bachelor's degree from college as an entertainment journalist. So aside from being in front of the camera, I'm also behind the mic, and I get to ask people similar to what you do about their life and their experiences. So I've been on many Hollywood red carpets and talked to many celebrities and gotten to see what's on the pulse of my city, and I've also starred in national commercials and been in modeling campaigns that have graced magazines. So it's been quite the plethora of activities, but you can say I've been in almost every facet of the entertainment industry. I think the only thing I haven't done is maybe directing or composing music.
Interesting. So you've been involved in acting, modeling, TV hosting, pageantry. You understand what it's like to be the person who's on camera being interviewed. You also have the experience of being the interviewer. Could you talk us through how these experiences have shaped you into the person you are now?
Talking first about being an entertainment journalist, I have acquired so many skills from being behind the mic and also being on red carpets and talking to strangers, because it's a lot of thinking on your feet and it's a lot of exploration of other people and getting to meet so many different kinds of people as well. So I think that has exposed me to a very broad and very diverse worldview where I meet so many people from all over the world with varying differing talents. And I get to see what makes them special and unique. And with every single person, that's something a little bit different. So I think I've acquired the skill of learning how to talk to just about anybody and really finding my own footing and standing in a room, no matter what that room is and no matter who is in that room. So it's introduced me to a wide variety of people. I think acting and modeling as well has taught me self-confidence and self-assurance. We all have negative feelings and self-doubts of maybe I'm not the prettiest girl in the room or I'm not the skinniest girl in the room. But I like to think that there is a talent that brought me to that room and there's a reason why I'm there. So it's what makes me unique that is what makes me special. And I'm not in competition with anybody else. I'm simply in collaboration with them to create art or to create a story together. So acting and modeling has really fortified my self-confidence and my security in myself, because you have to have that if you want to make it in the entertainment industry. You have to have a very, very thick skin and know your worth.
So there's a few things in here now that I'm starting to shape and I'm really curious about. I wonder if you could share with us the wisdom of knowing that you're in a room and there are a whole lot of other people who are quite accomplished, and therefore we might see them in a hierarchy, or we might just feel like, oh my goodness, what could I have in common with them? What I think I heard you say is you found comfort no matter who's in the room. Could you talk to us about the wisdom of that knowledge that you have? How did you come to understand that, and how does it shape your life?
When you are in a place like Los Angeles, where I reside, you're surrounded by people who clearly were special and had innate talents and abilities, which is what brought them to move to LA and to pursue that specific career. You know, these are people who, through the network that they have, were noticed and were told, hey, you have something great about you. Why don't you go pursue that talent and see where it goes? So everybody is creative and artistic in their own right, whatever that might be. But it also adds a lot of pressure because you notice that everybody around you is very beautiful or very successful or super talented. And that can create a little bit of imposter syndrome of like, well, do I have what it takes to rise to this occasion? Like, am I able to, do I fit in here? Do I belong in this environment? And I've come to realize and notice that although everybody is talented and beautiful and skinny and rich and all of these other attributes that people admire, is actually their humanity that sets them apart and that makes them different and that makes them a role model. I've also seen this in pageants as well, where every girl in the room is beautiful in their own way, in many diverse ways. And beauty is very subjective, but every woman is beautiful, right? So then that begs the question of what else? What else do you have to offer? What sets you apart? And what more can you offer this world? So the people that really stand out to me in Hollywood and in pageants are those people who put others above themselves, who are empathetic, who give back to the community, who have a mission that transcends things like beauty or fame. And those are the people I think too that become like our sweethearts, like those people that we really love. I mean, think about your favorite celebrity. They're not your favorite celebrity because they're the richest celebrity or they have the most Instagram followers. It's because they did something that impacted you and that you love about them. So one person that comes to mind that's very random is I actually really love John Cena, the wrestler, because he's known for being like this meathead character in all of these movies. But when I came to learn about him, that he's the person who has granted the most Make-A-Wish opportunities for kids, I fell in love with him. And I was like, I love this about him. He is giving back to kids. He's making people's dreams come true. So it didn't even matter anymore that he was rich and famous. That's what impacted me. So I've come to find that those are really the things that are important in life at the end of the day, no matter who you are.
I love all of this. And so I'm going to continue on in this vein. So you are hosting, or no, let's make you attending a red carpet. So you're a guest, but you're not a host. And you didn't come with many people. You don't know many people there. And you're naturally able to connect. I think I heard you say that's one of your strengths, is that you can connect with people and you feel like you can find common ground. Talk us through how you are in the room full of celebrities, full of people who have made contributions that have impacted the world, and literally how you engage in that process. I think most people would be like, where do I start? What do I say? Who and how do I approach anybody? Do I mention that I know who they are? Is that not what I do? Talk us through like the literal how you do that.
That's a great question. I don't know if I've broken it down to a science quite yet, but my strategy when it comes to meeting new people, whether they be celebrities or whether they be average people, is to be yourself first and foremost and to maintain an air of positivity. I think one misconception about Hollywood is that everybody's looking to step on each other's necks to get ahead, or you feel like you have to be pompous in a room talking yourself up or kissing up to people who are famous for them to like you. But really, if you dwindle it down to this is a conversation between two people, I always like to maintain like an air of gratitude of I'm so lucky to be here. I'm so excited to be here and to be talking to you. And I love complimenting people. I love making them feel special, not because of their accomplishments or accolades, but because of something that's in the moment. You know, let's say, oh, I love your smile. You know, you seem like you're having a great day. Like walk me through your day. Or, hey, I saw you were, you know, chowing down on a burger from McDonald's back there. That's my favorite place. Like, what do you get when you go there? Just making it very friendly, conversational, and easy. And I think if you maintain an air of gratitude and positivity, like a positive outlook on life changes everything and it can get you anywhere. So that's really my strategy, is being very happy-go-lucky everywhere I go. And I think people respond well to that.
I can feel the energy that allows you to be carried in that kind of current of gratitude and positivity. It's sort of, you can sort of see how easy it would be to float. And I don't mean float in a bad way, but float through an event or a series of connections when you're essentially not caught in the human condition of self-doubt or jealousy or wondering if you are enough. It's like, no, thank you. We're not doing those types of experiences in my body. We're going with remembering what an opportunity this is, remembering that I'm alive and I'm in this moment with these people, and how can I bless them and enjoy myself. They're two very different tones. Do you feel like I've described that well, or did I miss anything?
I do. And I think one thing that I've come to realize is that when you set out to believe something, perception becomes reality as well. So if you set out with a positive attitude of, this is going to be amazing, I'm going to have the best time and I'm going to get to meet new people and talk to them, that becomes your reality and that becomes your energy. And I also love talking other people up, because I feel like when I'm talking them up and when I'm making them feel special, it has the reverse effect of what you would think. You'd think, oh, it's going to make me feel small and it's going to make me feel like they're better than me, or I'm doubting myself. But it actually has the opposite effect of, now I feel like this person sees me for who I am and recognizes me and likes me. So I have a strategy of, and it's not even a strategy, I would say, it's more involuntary, but I always call people like queen or king or friend or bestie. Like, even if they're a stranger, I'll always be like, hey queen, like, you look great. You know, what's your name? And why not talk people up? Why not hype them up? I mean, I feel like everybody's walking around with a little bit of self-doubt and a little bit of nerves in any room you'll be in. So why not help ease their mind by letting them know that you're a friend and you're a safe space? So I'm always calling people queen and king, and even in Spanish, because I have a Latin background. My mom is from Venezuela, like I mentioned. There's a lot of flowery language as well that people use in Spanish. So I've started adopting that into my English speaking. In Spanish, you call people hola cariño, hola mi cielo, mi mundo, mi vida, which is like, hello dear, hello my world, my moon, my stars. Like, it could be someone at the grocery store and you're calling them like mi corazón and everything. It really makes people feel good. So I started doing that in English too.
That is so beautiful. I wonder how you know this in yourself. So I have this understanding that we all have different gifts or treasures. And this feels like a treasure that you have within yourself, this call to ease other people, to lift other people, to love other people. And it's something that other people might have to work harder to access this, but it feels like for you it comes very fluidly, very easily, very authentically. Can you tell us about your own wisdom that you understand about this kind of superpower that you have? Can you talk to us about that?
I would say it's actually an acquired thing and it's a learned thing, because unfortunately our human nature brings us to self-doubt and brings us to insecurity a lot of the time. And you really have to make a conscientious effort to push through that and say, I'm not going to feel insecure. Instead, I'm going to feel happy and grateful. And my behavior will reflect the way that I feel about myself. I think coming from years of pageants too, of hearing, no, you didn't make it, you didn't win, this girl won, all of that, you become so, I guess, comfortable with like failure that no matter how a situation goes, you're going to be okay. So why not think of it as this is going to be the most positive outcome? So I think it's actually something that I've learned and that I make a conscientious effort to do, is to have this outlook on life. And I want that because I think it will be better for my health in the long term. I think I'm still a very young woman, and I have the rest of my life ahead of me. So if I learn now how to be grateful and positive, that will help me throughout all of the many challenges that I have yet to face in my life, which I'm sure are numerous, right? I mean, I can't even think what else is coming, but I know it's coming and it's going to be hard. And so I'm just preparing now of like, if I can learn this behavior when I'm in my 20s, it's going to make aging, life, jobs, stress a lot easier. So I'm very forward looking to try and prevent any anxiety or pain.
Yeah, and it's a lovely buffer and a lovely skill that will serve you right across your life, I'm sure. I wonder if we were to go up 10,000 feet and look down at your life so far, if you were to look at your timeline, and would you be able to see a major turning point or a breakthrough where you've had this moment in your life or your career where you could have gone one way, but instead you've gone another way? Can you see any of those moments in your life?
I think there have been many instances like this, but the first thing that comes to mind just based off of what we were talking about was my decision to move to Los Angeles and pursue this career was definitely a turning point for me because I was living in Utah and I was a recent college graduate who was working in the resort industry at a ski resort in Utah. And I actually loved it. I loved working at the ski resort. I loved being a concierge at the hotel and helping people create magical moments and memories for themselves. And I was actually offered a very good job and a career path in the hospitality industry. But I was simultaneously offered a job as a TV host and reporter in LA. So I came at this crossroads of, okay, I know this job will lead to a career that will have stability and bring me money. And I do love it. On the flip side, I'm also offered this TV hosting job, which paid way less and involved me having to move to LA, which I didn't know anybody out there yet, except for a couple of people from Pageants, but they like live their own lives. In terms of a friend group, I didn't have anybody. And then I have to scramble and find a place to live in LA. And I remember thinking, okay, one of these is going to bring me money and stability, but I'll be wondering what if. The other one is going to bring me experiences and fun, but I'll be a broke, starving artist. So what in the world do I want to do? And eventually I came to the decision of, I'm going to look back on my life and say, you should have done it. You never know where it's going to go and you never know what's going to happen. So I just went for it. And I moved to LA. I remember posting on Instagram a story that said, I need a roommate in LA. If anybody knows any place I can live. Simultaneously, the girl that's now my roommate, who's one of my best friends now, had that same day posted, I have an empty bedroom in my apartment if anybody knows someone. At the same time, on the same day, these two people posted different questions, and a friend connected us, a mutual friend connected us and said, what do you know? I actually have this person for you. So it was very much serendipity. And I like to think, imagine if I hadn't done that on that specific day, I have no idea where my life would have been. So that crossroads, I think I made the right decision, in terms of going for something and not having that regret of looking back.
Mm. So that's a beautiful, comprehensive story, and I loved it. I wonder if we can poke around in it a little and see if you can sift out what tipped you over the edge. Because what we can see, because it's already been done, is that you made the right choice. The universe caught you and connected you into your next path. But that only showed itself as you took the steps in that direction. It's not like it came to you and was like, here, come this way and it's all going to be fine. You had to feel, using your attunement to self and your life and what your kind of destiny was, which way to go. I wonder, can you articulate for us how you could tell what direction was the right one for you?
I think if you are being pulled in a certain direction or you have an interest, a vested interest in something, that's usually for a reason that's much more nuanced than you think. So if you're being called to a specific place or a city or a job or a person, you owe it to yourself to explore that. I think it behooves people to take chances that scare them a little bit, but that also can open up a window to see things that they've never seen before. And I think my turning point came from the place of, I'm very forward thinking. I'm a very ambitious person, right? So I like to think about my future self a lot. And what would my future self think about this decision? So I thought, well, if I don't do it, I'm going to look back and go, I should have moved to LA when I was 24. Because as you age and as you get older, I can imagine that it gets harder and harder to make those kinds of choices. When you have a career or a family or established in your city, you can't pick up and go like that. So I thought, this is the only time in my life that I'm going to be able to do this. And I'm going to do it. So I think I use like deductive reasoning of, if there's a time, there's a place, there's a moment for me to do it, this is it. And if I don't do it now, it will pass me by and it probably won't come back. So truly, I think I just made a split second choice to go for it. And I also thankfully had the support of, my friends and people who always knew that I was interested in the entertainment industry and wanted to pursue it. It was a natural choice because people said, okay, we could see Athenna doing that. Like we're not surprised. It was only a matter of time before she made her way out there. And it was only a matter of time before she's doing this type of thing. I don't know. People just always believed that I could do it. So I think I also had the support from my community too.
It does sound like you had a dream, and that was well known and understood by not only yourself, but your loved ones saw it in you as well. And I have a mentor who once said to me, we don't dream of things that don't belong to us. And so there's this sense of your dream belongs to you, right? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, on that track, have there been mentors or role models that have influenced your journey?
There certainly have. I have had many pageant coaches who have seen my heart and my ambition and have fostered that dream for me. One pageant coach that has really impacted me is a woman named Beezy Chapman. And Beezy introduced me to the pageant that I'm currently the winner of, which is Miss World America. And I'm going to represent the United States of America at the 72nd Miss World pageant in 2 months. So if Beezy would not have introduced me to that, I wouldn't be going to Miss World now. And I think she saw the potential in me and for this dream to be achievable for me. And she said, I know you just did a different pageant and you didn't win, so you might feel a little let down by that. But I noticed this pageant has these qualities and these attributes, and they seem to align very well with who you are. So why not get back up on the saddle again and try? And I competed last year, which was 2023, end of 2023. And I was the first runner up, so second place to the title. And I knew I wanted to come back again because at that point you're really close, right? And you think it's definitely within my grasp. And so I came back again this year at the end of 2024. And I'm so grateful to have won. And now I'm going to go compete at Miss World with 120 other women from different countries representing their nations and their people. And it was because of Beezy, and she saw the potential in me to be in this position and be in this role. So many pageant coaches have taught me to believe in myself, and Beezy is definitely the first person that comes to mind.
My understanding of all of the work that goes into preparation for a pageant is quite expensive. And to do it at an American level and then a world level must be even more expensive. Talk to us about the financial elements of preparing and delivering a winning pageant look, skill set, performance? How does that work?
There is certainly a lot of costs associated with doing pageants, as there is with most hobbies. They can come to be very expensive, especially if you do them at an expert level. However, there are ways to get around that, and I am actually a very cheap person. I am very frugal, so I tend to borrow a lot. I tend to reuse a lot. And I find sponsors and people who are willing to help me in exchange for their own benefit as well. So if I have a business in my area, or a friend with a company, or even, my roommate runs a candle making business, if all of these people donate time or money to me, in exchange, I provide them with tons of content, pictures, videos, promotion on social media, time and effort, word of mouth, all of these different things that I've had to teach myself to accept and receive from people who want to give, and in exchange, give back to them too. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, you have to fund it all yourself, or they're embarrassed to ask for help from others. And I've had to overcome that embarrassment and feel like, okay, the worst people can say is no. If it doesn't serve them, or if it doesn't help them, they'll decline. But if it does help them to support you on this journey of doing pageants, they will accept, and they will assist you in whatever you need. So I have many sponsors who I've had for years and years and years doing pageants, that I consistently work with them, tag them, shout them out. I'm loyal to them, promote them in many different ways, and they have helped donate materials, costs, clothing, supplies, makeup, hair, whatever you can think of. There's people out there who need that cross promotion. Think about filmmakers too, and people who are in the tech space, or entrepreneurs, people who are startups. They don't just create their business out of thin air. They go to investors, they go to people with money, and they ask, hey, I have this dream. I see this potential for me. Can you help me? Can you invest in me and in my business? People are doing that all the time. So if you're somebody who has a dream, don't be afraid to ask for help, because people are often very willing and wanting to do that. So that helps alleviate and eat some of the cost of doing pageants, is having sponsors and friends who can help.
Wow. And so now you have won this highlight, let's just say it for the third time, Miss World America, yes?
Yes.
Which is extraordinary. That's extraordinary. What might happen at the next level? So you're representing America, you're going to be on the world stage. Which country is hosting, and what happens if at this next level?
So Miss World 2025 will be held in Telangana, India. And there will be 120 countries just about that are sending representatives to this contest. So of course I will be representing the United States at this contest. And it's a very long, very comprehensive competition that spans over 30 days, doing different activities and categories. So I'll be getting to know the fellow women while we compete alongside each other in many different categories. And I can't even tell you what to expect, because to be honest, I don't know. I'm just kind of going with the intention of doing my best and representing my country in the highest possible way. But as for the activities that we'll have in the meantime, it's still yet to be announced. But I know that it'll be 30 amazing days in India, and I've never been to India before. So I can't even imagine what I'll get to see and experience. It's going to be incredible.
Absolutely. And one of the gifts, I think, of having no idea about what is coming for you is that in life we don't have these moments that often. Normally there's some kind of clear roadmap or a whole lot of people that have had a similar experience. But this is one of those times where you probably can't prepare enough to predict what that experience is going to look like, feel like, sound like. And that is a wonderful time in life to have that full unknown as you walk into something. It's going to be like the road will rise up to meet you. And when we're in those times of life, it feels really magical. And I feel like that's what 2025 has for you. It has this infinite amount of possibilities where the road's going to rise up and we don't know where the path is going. We just know that it's got you. And what a magical time of your life to have that experience.
I love that saying, the road will rise up to meet you. I think that's so profound, and it definitely speaks well to what this journey has been like for me, because as I mentioned, I started pageants when I was 7 and I just turned 27 a few weeks ago. So it's been 20 years of pursuing this dream, not knowing where it's going to go, right? And even at this young age, to think I've spent 2 decades of my life in pursuit of this dream, I would have never imagined that this would be possible for me. But my dream came true. And if I had not trusted the process, I wouldn't have made it. And so I'm a testament, I'm a living testament to trusting that road.
You are. Now, last pageantry question. You won the American Miss World America, and you won that at the end of 2024. What skills, talents, attributes, what is your description of how you performed within that pageant? Tell us a little bit about who you were on the stage for that.
At the competition itself of Miss World America, I wanted to take risks and do things that I had never done before, because it was my last year of eligibility before I aged out. So the age restriction is 26, and I was 26 at the time of competition. So knowing that, it does add some pressure, but it also alleviates some as well, because okay, this is kind of the end of the road, and no matter what happens, like, I'll move on to something else. So in that moment, I said, I've got nothing to lose. I can take risks and do things that I'd never done before. So one thing that comes to mind, which is one of the most fun aspects about doing a pageant, is the dress that I chose to wear. I had many people telling me, wear something sexy, wear something that shows off your body, like you want the judges to notice you. And I had this intuition telling me, like, no, that you don't have to listen to them. You can wear whatever you want. And why not have, for your last competition, your princess moment? And so I designed this ball gown that was like Cinderella, and it was blue and it puffs out and it has these like long gloves with sparkles all over them. And it was a sweetheart neckline with a corset. And it was so far removed from anything people wanted me to wear. And I had people saying, don't wear the gloves, they make you look old. Don't wear a ball gown, that makes you look too young. Everything you can imagine. And I said, you know what? I don't have anything to lose. This is my last year. I'm going to wear the dress of my dreams. And I walked out in that ball gown and had so many little kids in the audience whispering, oh my gosh, it's Cinderella. It's a princess. It's a Disney princess, And I, through that decision, inspired these kids and caught their attention. And so it was almost like, it was a very strange lesson. It's like in making this choice, while I didn't cater to the adults on the judges panel like people suggested I should, I actually won over the hearts of the kids in the audience and the people that were watching, looking up to me and saying she looks like a princess. So that was one thing that I okay, see, you got to trust yourself. And I won in that ball gown, in that big poofy ball gown with the gloves. I won the pageant, and I was so happy I took that risk.
I can't help but think back to the very first piece of wisdom you offered us in this conversation, and it was around recognizing no is not yet, or perhaps it's not right for you, and to go in a different direction, to follow that like it's a piece of data or a signal. So if it's a no, it's not about you as a human. It's sort of ping-ponging you into a different stream that better matches who you are. I just wonder if there's a connection here, Athenna, between your understanding of no and how that serves you, alongside your ability to translate what your right thing is to do and to not be swayed by the noise of well-meaning critics or confidants.
There's certainly a balance in life, and I think balance is everything, of trusting yourself, but also heeding the wisdom and the counsel of people in your life that look out for you. In this particular instance of choosing something like my dress for my pageant, it's a very personal choice, and I do think I made the right one, because obviously, aside from winning the competition, I got to have that magical moment that transcended, the results of the pageant. However, I will say that it is good to listen to the people in your life that care about you. And I know for sure my mom has influenced me in many ways to stay away from a lot of the negativity, drama, or even danger of LA. Because it's a beast of a city, and there's a lot of interesting, weird people going on. I mean, we see so many things in the news every day about strange Hollywood behavior and everything. So there were a couple times that I had an interest in doing something, and my mom or my dad were like, like, don't go to that party or don't do that because it's probably not good for you. And begrudgingly, I said, okay, fine. I'll listen to you, mom and dad. So even though I'm 27 years old, I still got my mom and dad telling me what they think. And so I truly think it's about balance, and it's good to consider and weigh both options of the critics and the people in your life that are trying to lead you, as well as your own intuition and your heart. But you can't just have one. You have to have both.
How do you think you can attune or sift and sort to know when someone else can see something you can't, and when it is the right thing for you to follow your heart and do something your way, despite other people's well-intentioned advice?
I think if they are temporary decisions, you have to weigh, does this affect me or does it affect other people as well? Same thing for permanent decisions. Does this affect me personally or does it affect other people as well? So if it's a temporary decision, like, okay, I want to, go on a vacation here, or I want to, buy this or watch this movie, you can trust in yourself to make these decisions a lot of the time. But if it's something like a permanent decision of, okay, I want to marry this person, or I want to take this job, or I want to get this tattoo, or I want to do this and this and that, then you think, okay, does this affect me? Does it affect others? And if it does affect others, their feelings do deserve consideration. So in the instance of like my pageant and my dress, nobody's going to care except for me. I'm the one wearing the dress. No one else is going to wear the dress. I'm the one wearing the dress. So therefore, I'm going to make the decision, right? But when it comes to, okay, I'm going to make this huge life move to Los Angeles, I did rely on my parents and my friends, to counsel me and to help me in that decision. And my dad came to Utah and helped me pack up a U-Haul, and my brother drove the U-Haul all the way to LA. So I knew, okay, even though they say they're a little scared, they are here and they are driving me. So they do approve because if they didn't, they wouldn't be here. So, you might also have to like recognize people's behavior first before their words. Like, what are they really showing you?
Wonderful. I've been reflecting on your new home of LA and the world that you live in, which is probably quite different to the world you grew up in and quite different to where you had your early adult years, on the ski slopes in Salt Lake City, which sounds magical. I'm wondering about how your life has changed since you've become more in the public eye. I imagine in Utah, you lived a normal life and now you have access to a different type of life. What are the differences now? And talk to us about how you balance the highly public career that you are in and the normal person that you are.
I actually miss Utah and my old job and my old life a lot sometimes, because I've found that when you boil things down to the simple things, that's really when you become the happiest. And I see this season as a time for me to grow and learn about myself in my life, but I don't know if it's forever. And I don't think it's meant to be my entire future. So I'm taking the opportunity now to see the world, meet new people, and try things I have never done before. But at the end of the day, I remember like what true happiness feels like, which is to have people that love you, to have a place that you can work and find purpose in your work, to have a community, to have hobbies. People tend to idolize those in the public eye or celebrities because of all of the attention and recognition that they get. And everyone loves to be recognized and everyone loves to be praised. So that's totally natural. But that comes at a cost of time and energy and also stability and predictability, which in my opinion are much more fulfilling. So I loved living in Utah, having a job at a ski resort. And for a year, even after my college graduation, no social media. I went off of all social media for an entire year in an effort to simplify my life and reduce the noise of differing people and different opinions. And the time that I had, no social media, small group of friends, a job that I loved, I was the happiest person. That was the happiest I've ever been in my life. At this point, I am very happy still, but it also adds stress. And it adds like differing responsibilities and things that are hard. So everything comes at a cost. So I would say to anybody out there who's listening, like focus on the things that really matter, because even people in the public eye know what matters and they oftentimes want to get back to that eventually.
Everybody's working on something because you never get it done in life, and there's always another question to answer, a curiosity to explore, or a thing to be learned. What are you working on at the moment? What are the things that you're building your understanding and wisdom of?
As a 20-something living in LA, the biggest question I have is, what in the world am I doing with my life?
That's a good question.
I do not know what in the world I'm doing with my life. I don't think anybody truly has it all figured out.
No.
And I know that at any age and at any point, you'll also ask yourself that question. But I'm definitely in the phase of like, okay, once I'm done with this pageant, what in the world am I going to do next? And I know that something is coming. I know that I'll probably return back to my career as an entertainment journalist and dip my toes back into acting and modeling. But who knows? I mean, that's my biggest question of wisdom that I want to obtain is direction and clarity of this is going to be my next thing. This is going to be my next project. I even want in the near future to settle down and become a wife and a mother. So what point does that happen, right? At what point does that happen for me? I don't know. But that's the biggest question that I'm trying to figure out the answer to. So if anybody knows, please tell me.
Wouldn't that be nice if they could? But also, I don't know, there's that whole road rising up to meet you idea that I guess it's going to arrive when you most call it in. Some version of that, I think.
I think so too. I think you're right. Even though I'm not sure, following the results of the competition that I'm doing in 2 months, where my life exactly will be headed, I know for sure that I'm still Miss World America until I pass the title on to the next girl. And I know that I still have passions and hobbies in the entertainment industry that I have yet to pursue. So I want to focus on those things. And as well as that, be open. I'm just open to the universe, to whatever is coming my way, to whatever I can receive. And I do have faith that the road will rise to meet me, as you say.
I think so. I think the road is there for all of us. And I think it rises when it matches, when what we're doing matches our kind of unique heart print, like who we are. When we're walking that road and we don't quite know where we're going, but we can feel we're in the right direction, I think that's when the road comes up. And so it'll arrive for what you need. I know that for sure.
I hope so.
Yes, I know so. Now, Athenna, speaking of help, how can we show our support to you when you hit that stage in India in 2 months' time? How can we connect with you? How can we follow your journey? How can we support you and uplift you and give back to you what you have given to us through your wisdom today?
Thank you for asking that, because I'm so honored to have the support of every single person that I meet. And I would only hope to earn that support from them. And if they want to, they can follow me on Instagram at Athenna Crosby with 2 N's. So it's Athenna Crosby, as well as on TikTok. Those are mainly the ways that I connect with the audience and with followers and with people who want to support me. So if you have anything that you want me to do or participate in or be a part of, I'm super open. I have the title now of being Miss World America, where I can travel not just domestically, but internationally to places to meet people that I would have never thought possible. So no matter where you are listening in from in the world, if you want to follow me and support me, let me know how I can help you too. I'd love to get involved with your cause or your charities or organizations or businesses or whichever thing that I can do to help promote you as well. I love doing that. I've taken 3 international trips since I've won. And in every country I've visited, I have worked with local organizations and their constituents on how I can uplift those communities, even in places that I don't even live on the other side of the world. So if you follow me and support me, I always show the love back.
No, I love that. And actually, that's a really nice one of my last questions. How has winning Miss World America changed your life? How has it opened doors? How is it different now?
I feel a lot cooler because I almost feel like a diplomat of my country. I feel like kind of the president at times. People will say, oh, it's Miss World America. Like it's this whole big thing. So I almost feel like I represent people now. And that is a very, very interesting role to be in, right? Of not just you are a person who's known for something, but you are a person who's representing your community and your country and in the public space, and even in this instance, in the world stage. So that has been really cool. I feel like a diplomat. And also I've had opportunities to meet people from all over the world. And I now have a sister and a friend in every single country you could think of. The competition hasn't even been underway, and I have connected with every woman from their country on social media, and they've invited me to their places, their hometowns. Come to Argentina, come to Jamaica, come to Thailand. I want you to come and experience my culture. I'm getting invitations from people to visit their homes in all different parts of the world. So that is probably the best part about all of this, is now, no matter where I go, no matter where I am, I have a friend in every single corner of the world that is supporting me, and that we are bonding over this shared experience together.
That feels like it's got some real magic to it. You know, like that sort of sparkly, sparkle fingers kind of feel to it. I love that so much. Yeah. All right, Athenna, my favorite way to close these conversations is to put you and I on a porch at like an evening twilighty time. We've got fireflies. We're at the right temperature. We've got a comfortable chair and our favorite drink each. And we've got a listener chair as well. And we just have this one last time to ask you a question. And the question is, what last piece of wisdom or advice would you like to leave us with today? What's something that we would do well knowing, because it's a hard-earned, battle scar piece of wisdom that you walked through fire to really deeply know, and that you can offer this nugget of wisdom that you know is going to serve people?
If I had to offer any piece of advice, it would be that you are just one decision away from becoming the person that you always wanted to be. And the future version of yourself that you're picturing is already real. They already exist, right? And that person is just waiting for you in the present to make that choice. And if I had given up at any point in time on my 20 years long career of doing pageants, after hearing no after no after no, after being a runner-up countless times, getting really, really close, if I had given up at any point in time, I wouldn't get the chance to say now that I am representing my country at Miss World, and that has been one of the greatest honors that I've ever had in my life. So you're just one decision away from making that dream happen for you. Your time is coming. Do not give up. And if you have been waiting and looking for a sign, this is it.
That's such a beautiful way for us to end, knowing that this interview will find the listener at the perfect time for them and whatever it is they're working on, and looking for that connection piece. So that is a beautiful way for us to end. So Athenna, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for the conversation and the time together.
Thank you so much. This was so incredible, Meg, and I'm so grateful to people like you who provide others with an opportunity and a platform to talk about their wisdom. And if it weren't for you having given me this opportunity, who knows, somebody wouldn't have received the message that they needed to hear. So it's all thanks to you for this opportunity. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Athenna Crosby for joining me today on Wisdom Stripes. In today's episode, we explored her journey from pageantry to entertainment, the lessons she's learned in the industry, and how she's using her platform to inspire and connect and uplift others. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an update. You can follow Athenna by searching at Athenna Crosby. Remember, it has two N's, ATHENNA CROSBY. And to stay connected with me, you can follow me at Meg Tuohey Official on Instagram. Thank you for listening to another episode of Wisdom Stripes. I hope you gained a little wisdom today. My name is Meg Tuohey, and this is Wisdom Stripes. Thank you for listening to this episode of Wisdom Stripes. Follow me on @MegTuoheyOfficial and leave a comment and review. I'm looking forward to meeting you here next time on Wisdom Stripes.